In a world where people document every moment, announce every thought, and broadcast their emotions to anyone willing to watch, there exists a different kind of person, someone who moves quietly, almost invisibly, through the digital landscape. Someone who scrolls, observes, learns, reflects, but rarely posts. They are not absent. They are not disconnected. They are not behind. They are simply unwilling to turn their life into a performance. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us continue bringing reflections that awaken, inspire, and transform, and I promise, by the end of this video, you may understand yourself or someone you know in a way you never have before. Because the psychology of people who don't post on social media reveals something profound about identity, inner strength, and the changing nature of modern human connection. These individuals are not merely private, they are psychologically different. How they think, how they feel, how they experience the world, all of it diverges from the social media norm. Their silence is not avoidance. It is awareness. It is intelligence. It is self-possession. And to understand them, we must understand what it means to exist in a culture where the entire world is performing. People who don't post on social media are often misunderstood. Some assume they are antisocial. Some assume they are insecure. Some assume they have nothing to show. But the truth moves in the opposite direction. People who don't post usually have a far stronger identity than those who do. They are comfortable with who they are, comfortable enough to not need an audience. In psychology, this is known as a strong internal locus of control, the belief that your identity, emotions, and self-worth come from within, not from the approval of others. These individuals do not live for applause. Their confidence is internal. Their validation is self-grown. They don't ask the world, "Do you see me?" They ask themselves, "Do I know who I am?" And when the answer is yes, posting becomes unnecessary. Another profound psychological trait shows up again and again. People who don't post tend to be reflective, introspective, and unusually observant. While many rush to speak, these individuals listen. While others react impulsively, they process. While others broadcast their lives, they contemplate their lives. Their silence is not emptiness, it is depth. A person who doesn't post is able to sit with their thoughts. They don't need to externalize every emotion. They don't need to announce every achievement. They don't need to document every experience. They feel things internally, not publicly. Their mind is their home, not the comment section. This psychological orientation is incredibly rare in a culture where attention has become currency. The average person is conditioned to seek visibility to exist not only in life, but online. For people who don't post, existence does not require documentation. They believe that life is meaningful even when no one is watching. There is something else too. People who avoid posting often understand the performative nature of social media more deeply than others. They see through the filters, the exaggerations, the curated identities, the false confidence, the selective vulnerability. They see the way people shape narratives, edit their lives, and present a version of themselves that feels more like branding than authenticity. This makes them cautious, not fearful but discerning. They know that the moment you post, you are performing, even if subtly. You are crafting an identity. You are positioning yourself. You are creating an image. And they want no part of that. These individuals value authenticity so deeply that anything resembling performance feels unnatural. They are allergic to pretense. They are repelled by superficiality. They prefer to live quietly rather than loudly pretend. This is not insecurity, it is integrity. Another psychological trait frequently found in people who don't post. They protect their emotional energy. They understand how draining exposure can be. They know how exhausting it is to be perceived by strangers. They know the cost of visibility. Posting invites judgment, comparison, gossip, envy, misunderstanding, assumptions. Even the most innocent post becomes a doorway for opinions you never asked for. People who don't post see this clearly. They choose privacy not because they fear opinions, but because they do not require them. Their peace is more important than their visibility. Their boundaries are stronger than their desire for attention. Psychologically, these individuals tend to have high sensitivity and high empathy, which means their emotional world is rich, delicate, and easily affected. Posting brings overstimulation. Exposure brings discomfort. They prefer to keep certain parts of their life sacred. To them, privacy is not secrecy, it is self-respect. But their silence also reveals something even deeper. People who don't post often have a powerful inner world. They may be creative, thoughtful, imaginative, philosophical, or analytical. They live in ideas that others rarely explore. They think in layers most people overlook. They perceive details others miss. Their minds are not empty, they are full of reflections, questions, insights, patterns, emotions. And because their inner world is so rich, the outer world doesn't always require expression. The way they experience life is not something they need to publish, it is something they need to contemplate. This is a sign of psychological depth. It often correlates with introversion, philosophical intelligence, and emotional maturity. Their silence is not a void, it is a universe. But let's go even deeper. People who don't post value real life over digital life. If they travel, they live the moment, not record it. If they laugh, they savor it, not film it. If they cry, they process it, not announce it. If they love, they express it privately, not publicly. Their moments belong to them, not to the internet. This is why many of them find social media disorienting. It flips priorities. People start living for documentation rather than experience. People go to places to be seen rather than to enjoy. People celebrate achievements to impress rather than to feel proud. This inversion feels unnatural to individuals who believe life is meant to be lived, not performed. Their refusal to post is a rebellion against the pressure to commodify existence. Another major psychological factor: people who don't post refuse to participate in constant comparison. Social media is a landscape of carefully crafted illusions. Perfect vacations, perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect success. But people who don't post know the truth. No one's life looks the way it appears online. No relationship is as effortless as it seems. No success is as glamorous as it looks. No happiness is as constant as it appears. They see the gap between reality and presentation. They see the artificial shine. They see the insecurity behind the boasting. Instead of comparing themselves to others, they withdraw from the competition entirely. This protects their mental health in ways most people never realize. There is also a Jungian layer here. Not posting is often a sign of individuation, the process of becoming your true self. When you stop needing approval, stop needing attention, stop needing to be seen, you begin returning to your authentic center. You stop shaping yourself around other people's expectations. You stop performing a socially acceptable identity. You stop living for the gaze of others. Your real self begins to emerge in the quiet. This is why people who don't post often seem more stable, grounded, wise, or self-aware. Their identity is not distributed across 1,000 screens, it is rooted within. Deep, quiet, unshakable. Another truth about people who don't post: they observe more than they express. They are the ones analyzing human behavior, noticing patterns, sensing emotional undercurrents. They see relationships forming and falling apart. They see insecurity disguised as confidence. They see loneliness disguised as aesthetics. They see competition disguised as inspiration. They understand social media from a psychological viewpoint, not an emotional one. They are not fooled by it. They are not addicted to it. They are not shaped by it. They simply watch the performance and choose to stay behind the curtain. But here is the most important truth. People who don't post live for connection, not exposure. They don't care about being followed. They care about being understood. They don't want an audience. They want a conversation. They don't want to be popular. They want to be real. Their relationships, though fewer, are deeper. Their conversations are more meaningful. Their bonds are more honest. When they share something, it is with someone who matters, not with everyone. When they express something, it is genuine, not curated. When they reveal something, it is intimate, not performative. This makes their connections rare and powerful. Finally, we reach the core psychological truth. People who don't post are not hiding from the world. They are protecting their soul from